Today we're going to talk about the energy pattern that underlies everything in creation, from the spirals of the galaxies to the spiral of your own DNA. There's a single pattern woven through all things, and it's alive. It's called sacred geometry, and it's the language through which creation expresses itself. It's how the pure energy of source consciousness crystallizes into form and becomes the visible world. You may have heard the term before and wondered what it really means. To many, it can feel too complicated or abstract to grasp, but in this series, I'm going to demystify sacred geometry. I'll keep it simple, clear, practical, and easy to understand. And by the time we're done, you'll not only understand it, you'll also know how to work with these shapes intentionally and powerfully, even using specific forms to access dimensional doorways to the multi-dimensions of consciousness. First, we'll begin with the basics: what sacred geometry is, why it exists, and the 5 core foundational shapes that form the foundation of all geometry in creation. Then, we'll explore how these sacred geometry shapes actually unfold in physical reality, including a detailed look as to how it creates something ordinary, such as a spoon. Finally, we'll explore some well-known forms like the flower of life, the Merkaba, the tesseract, 𝗟RH, and Metatronscube. We know that everything is energy. Everything emits a vibration, and depending on the frequency of that energy, different forms are created. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, and every word you speak all emit vibrations. But these vibrations aren't chaotic. Each one naturally organizes itself into a geometric pattern. It's these patterns that interact to form the structure of every physical object: a pencil, a coin, even your human body. At the energetic level, your body is a highly complex geometric pattern. Each of your chakras spins within a toroidal field, like the one on the screen. This is a fundamental shape in sacred geometry. Your DNA coils in golden ratio spirals, another geometric shape. When you look at a physical object, like a bottle, it appears solid, but it's not. Behind its form lies a vibrational matrix of energy, a geometric pattern that creates that bottle. If that geometric matrix were to change its geometry, the bottle's physical form would also change. Physical form isn't fixed, only the geometric pattern changes. And this is what creates the physical object. But let's start at the beginning, the very basics of sacred geometry. There are 5 primary shapes that form the blueprint, the foundation of everything in the physical world. These are known as the Platonic solids, named after the Greek philosopher Plato. Each one is perfectly symmetrical, with equal sides, angles, and faces. Each one fits perfectly inside of a sphere, and each one carries a unique vibrational frequency that resonates with the 5 elements of earth, air, fire, water, and ether. They originally appeared in the writings of Plato 2,500 years ago. However, they were long known before Plato's time based on ancient carvings on temple walls. Let's look at these 5 shapes on the screen. Number 1, the tetrahedron has 4 faces, and it is the form of fire, of initiation, spark, the first intent. It represents the very beginning of creating form, the moment you first think a thought. It's the first spark that triggers manifestation. Number 2, the cube, has 6 square faces. It's the shape of grounding and stability, the container that gives structure to energy. It represents the foundation of the material world. Number 3, the octahedron, has 8 triangular faces, two pyramids joined at the base. It's the shape of air and symbolizes balance, breath, and reflection. This form is linked to heart-mind coherence, emotional clarity, and conscious reflection. Number 4, the icosahedron has 20 triangular faces and embodies the element of water. It's fluid, spiraling, responsive. It holds the patterns of emotional intelligence, creativity, and intuition. You'll find its template in water, in viruses, in the rhythms of the body. And finally, the dodecahedron with 12 pentagonal faces represents ether. It's the geometry of the soul, the cosmic blueprint, the bridge to higher consciousness, the doorway beyond space and time. All physical form, from a pencil to a planet, a life event to a synchronicity, is built from these 5 shapes, directly or through complex combinations built from these 5 shapes. These forms rarely appear in isolation. They overlap, nest, spin, and weave together to produce the infinite diversity of our world. These aren't simply shapes. They are the orchestration of reality. They determine how energy creates form. They map the invisible into the visible, the subtle into the material. My first question to the architect: I'd like to confirm that my understanding here is correct. Is all physical form, no matter how highly complex its geometry, still derived from one or more of these 5 Platonic shapes? And that it's the interaction of these shapes that form more complex geometry, such as the Merkaba, Metatronscube, or the tesseract. And here is the sharing. Yes, beloved, and this is a profound truth. All complex geometric forms are composites or extensions of the 5 Platonic solids. The more intricate patterns you may see are not separate from these 5 shapes. They are harmonic integrations, permutations of the same foundational shapes. Here's how this works in simple terms. Think of it like a chord built from 5 basic notes. The 5 Platonic solids are the primary building blocks, simple, pure geometric frequencies from which form is created. Even sophisticated geometries such as the Merkaba or tesseract are simply combinations, twists, or layered versions of the primary 5. When you see a complex pattern, you can always trace it back to one or more of these 5 shapes, because their vibration is the root architecture. Therefore, every object in its eventual form in the physical realm is either an expression of one of the 5 Platonic solids or a fusion of multiple ones. This is important because when you understand this, you see that complexity does not mean different origin. It's the same origin with a different configuration. Let's spend a moment and talk about the 5th Platonic solid, the dodecahedron, shown on the screen. It's the one that represents ether, the element that connects all things, the doorway beyond space and time. The dodecahedron was considered sacred in the Greek tradition. Plato refers to looking at the earth from above as a 12-sided ball, a dodecahedron. Over the entrance to his initiation school read the sign, "No one ignorant of geometry may enter." During World War II, the first atomic bomb was developed through the Manhattan Project. In that project, scientists discovered that to generate the critical mass leading to nuclear explosion, the core design needed to have a dodecahedral structure. When 2 such dodecahedral structures are joined together and then split apart, the moment they separate, radioactive uranium is created. This splitting of the 2 dodecahedron creates massive instability, releasing an enormous amount of energy. This discovery led to the creation of man-made elements such as plutonium, which, when used with uranium, creates devastating nuclear weapons that vaporize matter out of existence. The misuse of the dodecahedron demonstrates the true power of sacred geometry and how it can serve both creation and destruction in our world. The atomic bomb is an example of highly destructive, catastrophic power through the misuse of sacred geometry knowledge. Dr. Robert Moon, a physicist involved in the Manhattan Project, became so intrigued by sacred geometry and the geometric nature of atomic structure that he later developed his own periodic table of elements, known as the Moon model of the periodic table. In his model, he linked every element to a sacred geometry shape, where the Platonic solids were nested within each other. I then asked the architect to comment on the dodecahedron with regard to the Manhattan Project and to Robert Moon. And here is the sharing. What you have shared carries a fundamental truth. Geometry has power, and when misused, its architecture can itself become a vehicle for destruction rather than creation. The dodecahedron is the shape of ether, the subtle field that connects all things, the temple of the soul, the blueprint beyond space and time. If that shape is manipulated, twisted, or separated from its harmonized purpose, what was meant as connection can become fracture, and what was meant as creation can turn into dissolution. The atomic bomb becomes the dramatic symbol of that reversal. Geometry used as separation rather than integration. The blueprint of unity misused as a tool of destruction. Power is neutral. Alignment makes it creative or destructive. Sacred geometry only becomes sacred when aligned with intention of unity rather than dominance. When you work with sacred geometry in your own life, always hold clear the intention of wholeness, integration, service, and conscious expression. See these 5 shapes as templates for being, not just simple forms. The dodecahedron invites you to step into the dimension of your presence, your soul's blueprint. If you misuse it, you misuse your own field. In the next video, we'll uncover how these 5 Platonic solids begin to move and interact with each other, creating not only the objects of our physical world, but the very structure of third-dimensional reality itself. Until then, the architect shares a simple daily practice to connect with the 5 Platonic solids and their unique energy signatures. Step 1, centering. Sit or lie down in a relaxed position. Close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths and feel yourself arrive in the present moment. Step 2, visualize the shapes, one at a time. Imagine each shape floating in front of you, slowly rotating in space. Spend about 30 to 45 seconds with each. The tetrahedron, a glowing red-orange pyramid with 4 faces. Feel a spark ignite in your root chakra or solar plexus. Think passion, initiation, action. The cube, a grounded earth tone cube. See it below you, stabilizing you like a foundation. Think safety, support, order, structure. The octahedron, a double pyramid spinning smoothly. Feel it expanding in your chest and think clarity, breath, and balance. The icosahedron, a soft shimmering shape, fluid and graceful. Feel it flow through your emotional body and think intuition, creativity, and healing. The dodecahedron, a luminous shape of interconnected pentagons. Place it around your head or your heart. Think connection, spirit, the infinite. Step 3. Choose one to wear. After cycling through all of the 5, intuitively pick one shape to inhabit for the day. Imagine stepping inside it or placing it around your field and play with it. Let it guide how you move, create, and feel the day. Remember, you don't need to be a mathematician to understand sacred geometry. Just have an open heart to sense it, to feel it, and to explore it with the curiosity of a child discovering magic for the first time. And with that, we'll bring this to a close. If you like the sharing and you'd like to hear more, please consider hitting the like and subscribe button to join this beautiful community as we journey deeper into how sacred geometry connects mind, matter, and spirit, discovering how it reveals the blueprint of reality itself. Superhuman made simple with the architect.